Hey, welcome to this video about how to overcome financial insecurity. If you're here, I imagine you are navigating financial insecurity and it's keeping you feeling trapped, stuck in patterns, jobs, situations you don't want to be in anymore. We're going to dive into it. We're going to explore it. I want to get you out of that hamster wheel and back onto something I call your prosperous path. Before we dive in, I want to remind everyone, or if you're a first-time visitor to the channel, we do a giveaway right now. Every 150 subscribers, we're giving away a free 2-hour human design reading. If you're not familiar with the human design system, that's all good. Just subscribe to our channel, leave a comment. You'll get to have a cool 2-hour experience with me if you win. We draw a random subscriber at the 150 mark, and human design is one of the most powerful tools I've used on my path to overcome financial insecurity. So I would love to get to explore it with you. So again, all you got to do is subscribe and comment on this video, and I'll talk again more about that at the end of the video. So let's dive in. Financial insecurity is something that's a bit of an epidemic, and it's an epidemic because it is systemic. It's something that society teaches most all children at this point, in this day and age, in 2022, at least in Western societies. And it's very early on. Children are taught to not listen to the instincts, the gut, the heart, the pull, the spark, the draw, to follow their intuition, follow their curiosity, follow their desire, follow their creativity, to allow themselves to move through the world with that being their guiding light and letting themselves receive abundance and prosperity in exchange for that genius, those gifts, those talents. Pretty early on, they're taught how to fall in line, how to be a good boy, a good girl, how to not ruffle feathers too much, how to learn the rules of society and navigate society so you're acceptable. And then in school, starting to learn that what you're good at are your hobbies, and what you get paid for are the things you have to go to 4 years of school for. And your guidance counselors perhaps told you that your dreams are unrealistic and you're never going to make money doing that. Here are the fields where they make money, so here are the colleges you should go to. So many students and kids very early, and then through their teen years and 20s, are reinforced that it's not safe to follow your gut, your heart, your truth, your desires, your passion, your purpose. And therefore you come off your prosperous path. So imagine your prosperous path is a line. And then each time you buy into what society is telling you, when you're a little kid, it's kind of hard to argue with those big adults. You start to take these tangential steps away from your prosperous path, but your prosperous path is still there. And you can always come back to it. So somewhere, prosperous path down here, you're probably somewhere up here. So the key then is to start making decisions that will gently let you come back to your prosperous path. If you just try to jump, it's like you're jumping off a cliff. You know, that's the fear that comes up with financial insecurity of, am I going to be okay? What do you mean just follow my purpose? What do you mean just love myself and follow my heart? How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to take care of my kids? How is this all going to work? And you're never going to really know how, but you can reduce the discomfort of that question by taking small steps that your nervous system can actually handle. So we've got this prosperous path, and this is what I want to invite you to inquire within you about. See if this resonates with you, is that there is a path that is uniquely yours, that if you're following, if you were never taught to not follow your genius, and if we lived in a society that actually naturally rewarded genius, then money would have never been a problem or a fear. That you were taught and you learned to be afraid of money. You learned to create security by exchanging your expression in exchange for acceptance and validation by society. You gave up your freedom of expression. You gave up expressing who you really are, not in one moment, but in a lot of micro moments. You started to learn, oh, when I say that, it's not okay. When I say that, I get punished. When I say that, I get laughed at. When I do that, I get bullied, I get beat up. And you started to learn and approximate who you are. And you started to learn the rules of society, that if you do this, 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 and this, you'll get a consistent paycheck in exchange. And so you started to rely on external sources that you can't control. That's what this sense of security that your mind has learned to think is happening through the consistent paycheck is nothing, it's out of your control because that job could fire you any day, the economy could crash, the stock market could crash. There's all these things that could happen. There's a whole list of them, but we'll just stick with those top 3 for now. So the safety, it's not real safety because you're not generating it. It's generated by external conditions, and you only then feel safe, peaceful, joyful in your being when those conditions are true. What I want to invite you into is a return to true security, security that is inherent, it is your birthright, it's generated from within. To do that, the path from this unwinding the learned behaviors of false security to returning to your true nature of true security, of receiving the prosperity of that is always available, that is always flowing, that will flow to you in exchange for your genius, gifts, and talents, and natural abilities, and your passion and your purpose. But it won't flow to you right away most of the time because there's a transition period where there's too many beliefs, too many protection patterns. Your nervous system is too scared to follow your purpose, follow your passion. And so there's these self-sabotages that happen. There's these stop and goes. There's the, I'm going to do this, but all the fears in your system prevent you from fully trusting that when you dive into your purpose and passion, that you're going to receive the flow coming. Because the way money flows in exchange for your purpose and passion is different than it exchanges from those consistent paychecks. You don't always know it's going to come on the 15th or the 30th. Sometimes it comes in weird ways and from weird directions. And so it's about building your nervous system capacity again to remember that life is designed to be flowed through in the unknown. And to do that, you need to take small steps to build the capacity of your nervous system to not be afraid to do that. That's the financial insecurity. The financial insecurity is, where's this money going to come from if I lose my job? If I lose my job, or if I start, I don't want to get too out of line because then I lose my job, then I'm going to be homeless, and this and that, this and that. It's like starting to remember that and starting to take small steps outside your comfort zone. And starting to maybe start a meetup group, or go to meetup groups that have to do with your passion, starting to meet people, starting to have experiences where you are in the field of what you're passionate about, and starting to meet people and network and allow that movement of energy to start happening. Because down the line, you will be able to make money with that passion and purpose, but you first have to retrain your nervous system, because it is protecting you from being made fun of, from being bullied, from being rejected, from being cast aside as an outcast of society, from not being validated and not being accepted by society. You don't have to figure out how you're going to make money with your purpose. You don't have to figure out how you're going to make money doing what you love. That fear that keeps you from doing what you love, that keeps you trapped in the cycles you don't want to be in, it just has to be unlearned and unwound one step at a time. And because the key here is that you were taught to build wealth, to build a great quantity of a pile of money in order to feel safe. And once you have enough of it built up, then you can feel secure, then you can do what you want. But that's never going to happen. It's never going to be big enough. And I'm not anti-wealth. I'm saying get back to creating safety and security in your nervous system despite the conditions you can't control. Start to build your capacity to feel safer in more and more conditions. Start to draw boundaries with your bosses and the people. Start to work reasonable hours. Start to take the small steps to get more aligned with how your body wants to move through the world. That is true safety. That is generating a feeling of safety and security from within you, and then build wealth from that. Let wealth arrive, because prosperity is defined as a thriving condition. Wealth is defined as a great quantity of store. So getting away from building this great quantity of store and allow yourself to be in a constant thriving condition that never ends, that never stops flowing. Money keeps coming and going, and you start to experience, when I live in my passion, in my purpose, money flows to me in exchange for it. And that's how the universe works. And more people are waking up to this. So society is starting to, and will continue to shift very slowly in this direction. But in the meantime, most of society operates with the stronghold of exchanging your fullest, most creative expression for acceptance, validation, and the security of a regular paycheck. So what I'm inviting you into is to start to let yourself express again. Start to let yourself have small experiences, being gentle with your nervous system. Acceptance is key. To not judge yourself for the insecurity, to understand that that insecurity came from years and years and decades of you learning to navigate a society that didn't want to be you. So a key point here is to bring awareness to the history, not only in your lifetime, but the history of your parents and your grandparents and your ancestry and the collective we've been in, of all the last 3,000 years where there's been this oppressive way of navigating money that you were born into and learned. And be compassionate with your fear. Don't try to fix your insecurity. Love your insecurity enough that it relaxes and you start to take those small steps simultaneously, and little by little you're going to remember how to create a feeling of security within you and start to experience your own experiences of money coming to you in exchange for your genius that are going to build your confidence, build your trust, build your capacity of your nervous system to be in the unknown and to allow money to flow. It doesn't look like a fast path, but it is the fastest path. There's no 10-step, 50-step plan you got to follow. Just start to be gentle with yourself when you feel afraid, and take deep breaths. Don't avoid that fear, and take some action steps on the outside that are small and manageable for your nervous system. And step by step, you will return to your prosperous path. That's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Leave comments, questions, resistances, thoughts in below, situations you're dealing with, specific questions about your experience. I'll get back to each one. And another reminder, again, we're giving a 2-hour human design reading away at the 600 subscriber mark, and then again at every 150 subscribers. So if you want to enter into the giveaway, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment on this video, and the more videos on the channel you leave comments on, the more chances you'll have to win. So please go ahead and, if you like this content, keep on coming back. We do content on relationships, money, human design every week, and I hope to see you back, hope to see you in the comments, and I hope you're having a beautiful, beautiful day.